Some interesting news. I have reached out to Marvel Mystery Oil, and I have reached out to one of the ladies that heads up the marketing team. I'm waiting on a response back. I talked to somebody from Marvel Mystery Oil, and then I had them put me in touch with the marketing team on somebody that I could actually sit down with and talk about the product. A lot of information out there about how ATF is mineral-based stock or mineral-based oil with just additives and stuff in it, and a lot of people say the same thing about Marvel Mystery Oil. It's just mineral-based stock with just additives and stuff in it. But here's the thing: I've used ATF before. I've done a lot of the stuff guys have said for years. Just run ATF in it; it'll clean it out. Just run ATF. It to an extent, it might work a little bit, but it does not get the same results as Marvel Mystery Oil. I have a live video up in my live feed section where you can see I have covered a severely sludged, almost like jelly, 2018 NV3500 with a 5.6 liter that the cam follower went on. And not only did it take out the cam follower, it took out the cam lobe and the cam bearing. And it would still run. The parts were laying down in the head, and it would still run just fine. It would misfire on that cylinder, obviously, but it was running enough to get some kind of fluids through it to start cleaning it out to see how bad everything was, because you couldn't see anything before. It was all gelled up. And I tried everything. I tried just regular oil changes in it, just to let it run for a couple days on and off to see if it would clean anything up. It wouldn't really work. I tried diesel and kerosene. Wouldn't work, didn't really do anything. Cleaned a little bit, but not very much. Not enough to actually start noticing material being removed. I tried ATF, like a whole gallon of ATF in this thing, with just topping it off with a quart of oil or 2 quarts of oil. Ran it for 30 minutes, got it super hot, high RPM, still wouldn't work, still wouldn't clean anything out. Then I tried Marvel Mystery Oil, and I noticed, wow, this stuff is actually starting to really clean. Fluid's a lot darker. You can actually notice some of the material being pulled away from everything. It was starting to actually work. But it would have taken a long time to really do any kind of serious cleaning. Then I came to work and I asked the customer, I said, in order for me to identify exactly what's going on, to figure out where this engine failed, I'm going to need it. If you want it investigated, I need some more of the sludge out of this motor. I need to really be able to clean this motor out. And for all the chemicals that I have in it so far, and then my time, it's going to be about $500 total. And the customer said, I don't care. I want to know where the failure was at. So whatever you need to do. I said, well, we have about a $300 kit at work. I'm a manufacturer technician, dealer technician. I can get it for about $300. It's an engine restoration kit from BG, and it's got a couple gallons of EPR and rinse oil, and this is strong industrial grade stuff. It'll do what none of the other stuff does. A lot of people claim that diesel and kerosene and ATF and even Marvel Mystery Oil and Seafoam will do what BG will do. That's a lie. It will not. I took the BG engine restoration kit, that dynamic kit, out to the shop. I went live, and I was able to show you guys exactly what it does. And 80% of what was in that within an hour was completely gone. You can see the nice fresh skirts of the block. You can see everything all the way up. The valve covers and stuff still has some sludge and stuff in it because it's really hard to get everything up in there while the motor's plugged up like it was. But 70% of everything that was in that all just started melting with that stuff because it's in a completely different breed of its own. So a lot of people have their stories and stuff, and they like to tell me what they think, what they've done. A lot of it's hogwash to me. A lot of it is it's just not relevant because I'm in the industry. I deal with these major severe problems and stuff all the time, more than most people do. And high volume independent shops and dealerships that have to deal with a decent amount of volume get to see exactly what works and what doesn't work. It's not just some mom and pop wives' tale stuff or something that worked a little bit, running ATF through your vehicle 1,000. Some of us don't have 1,000 miles to wash out an engine to really get the sludge and stuff out of it. So my most successful stuff so far was Seafoam and Marvel Mystery Oil, and I just thought I'd tell the story about what my experience is with Marvel Mystery Oil. Seafoam, it works pretty good too. I don't think it works quite as good as Marvel Mystery Oil does in my personal opinion, but it still works. Now, to say adding ATF and diesel and kerosene in there, it would almost touch nothing that I've been on. It's a slow clean, but a fast 15-minute, let's get the vehicle hot, let's clean everything out at 1500 RPM and just let it run. No, it's never really done anything that great for me. And a lot of people say, well, ATF and MMO are the same mineral oil, just different additives. They're really not. They don't operate the same. I've run ATF plenty of times thinking it's going to actually quieten a lifter down or something like that. And unless you let it run for a long time, it just doesn't work quite like people claim it does. I think it makes them feel good that they were successful a few times with running ATF in their oil, and it's not the same thing. Yeah, when I run MMO, I notice a difference. I notice stuff getting cleaned out of the motor. I notice stuff end up in the filter and stuff as it's slowly cleaning out that motor. So to say they're the same, it's a fallacy. It's not true at all. I'm hoping that I can have you guys some new content here, kind of stepping up the game here a little bit, and actually reach out to MMO directly. And I didn't actually realize they were here in Illinois where I'm at. So it's a win-win for me. If not, I'll go out and actually see the facility. But I called them up, talked to one lady. She passed me off to the marketing team, one of the lead ladies there. And I'm going to see if I can actually sit down and talk to somebody and get you guys some fresh information, some information maybe that you haven't got from anybody else. So that's to come, and I'm going to stay on it, and I'm not going to let up on it. So if I have to call 1,000 times to get an appointment and sit down with somebody and just talk about the product, that's what we're going to do. Just wanted to update you guys on the progress with MMO. It's a product that I really stand by, and I love the stuff. It's a slow reacting, really good additive. You add it in your fuel. You can add it in your oil, and a lot of the early stories that you read about MMO was World War I vehicles with carburetors and stuff that were starting to get clogged up. They'd run it in the fuel and stuff to clean out carburetors. They'd put it in the pistons of airplanes and stuff, where airplanes would sit for a while and they get seized. They'd spray stuff down in there, and it would really sit on the top of the piston, soak into them rings and stuff, and dislodge things or free it up. So obviously it's a product that's been around for a while. It's worked. And it looks like both of them are made from mineral-based stock. But unless we know what's in there and what's exactly the what would you call it, activating agent inside it that makes it do what it does, to me, it's not the same thing as ATF. They don't work the same. I have no experience to say that they actually work the same. I've tried both, and ATF just doesn't really work that great for me. I know it cleans very slowly, and it might be safer in some situations when you're slowly trying to save something that's severely carboned up, junked up, varnished up, sludged up, whatever, but it does not do the same thing. That's the update. Let's get this appointment going. Let's get some content where we sit down and actually talk to these people. I'd love to hear from them. So Marvel Mystery Oil, if you see this video, let's sit down and talk. Let's speed this up so we can get the folks their information that they're waiting for. Let's talk about the product, and let's see what's in the future, if there are any new products coming, and we can entertain the people that love using it. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. Be blessed.